The Nonary game, 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 Nonary game, the 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 Nonary game.
Now, let's start a vote to...
That won't be necessary. I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts.
How about now? Oh, hey, Jay. Can you guys hear me now? Hey, please tell me I'm audible now. This delay is killing me.
Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out.
Hello? Dude, please tell me I'm speaking. Yay! Okay. Let me turn myself down. Holy shit, my laptop sucks. I need to get better at not swearing. Every time I'm in a Zach stream, I swear. And also, then I get... whatever. Okay, it should be more evenly balanced now, I think. You should name your shark Baby Shark.
If we go through them.
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True. But that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you. once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
Dude, these guys are so convinced that they... Guys, it's not... Dude, you're gonna die.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time.
I think even if there wasn't a trap, you couldn't... Even if there weren't puzzles in the way of leaving, you couldn't get off this ship, get help, return, and then get off the ship again within the time limit.
We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come
Dude,
and
it's
rescue
been
you?
4 hours and they've done nothing.
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Ace's voice was dignified and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice.
Yeah, they have 5 hours, but they had 9 hours. They have 5 now. But they don't know where the fuck they are. And there's no way this is like they've done like 2 puzzles. No jigsaw killer is gonna trap you in a room, say haha, solve the puzzles, get off the ship in 9 hours, and then there's 2 puzzles for you to solve.
Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously on his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
Let's accept his kind offer then.
She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. To be fair to Ace, I can see myself doing this and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking fall asleep. He's probably tired enough that if I was in this situation, what I would do is if I have to stay behind, I would fucking run laps and then go to sleep as tired as possible in the hopes that I do not wake up when I'm drowning. Okay, you should name it Mummy Shark then, Wei. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship was screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa? I have to find my brother.
I don't think your brother's past the doors.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran towards Ace. I think technically, now, I'm no expert on maths here, but I think Zero is the kind of person that if you yelled loud enough, we are using our own number system. So every time that we do this, it works out. I think Zero would let them through every door if they do that, as long as they do actually create the number system and write it down so that Zero can then look at it. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something!
She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
This.
He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
In it was a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label tacked to the side of the container. It read, Soporil Beta. Soporil Beta?
Soporil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
No, June. He just had it and it's just in his skin.
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am. Very tired.
I bet this guy's like 35 years old. Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace.
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
You feel warm, so comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as if though he were dying.
Ace! Ace!
Everyone put F's in chat to show respect. She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told them he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing.
Let's get him up on a bed.
Yeah, that was so weird for him to say. He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Ah, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child but with his hand in the cookie jar.
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel and turned and stalked off.
Alright, who's next?
Santa's gaze moved past the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei.
Hey, which door do you want?
At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Oh god. I kind of want to go through door 3 because I feel like they've forgotten that door 3 exists. It feels like they don't know that door 3 is there. They keep talking about door 7 and 8. If anyone has any objections to door 3, speak now or forever hold your peace. 1, 2, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I want to go through door number 3.
Nope, you can't.
Ah,
Why?
Because it's impossible. If we split
Sad.
ourselves into 3 and 3, then we give up on going.
Why?
The bracelet numbers for the 6 of us are 3. There are 2 combinations that can go through door 3. That's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door.
I see. That means one team would get left behind.
again, there's 6 of us. I'm sure we could figure it out.
That's right.
That doesn't happen if we go through.
No, they're fine. We've got
Oh, holy shit.
3 and 4. Option B, 4 and 3. Option C, 3, 6 and 4. Those are the only 3 at least if we want to get.
Wait.
Plan A divides into 2 teams.
But that means 5 and 6 can never be on the same team. If we want all 6 of us to go through a door,
June and Junpei had been friends when they were kids. He trusted her more than anyone else on the ship. If he chose 7 or 8, he'd be taken away from her. Was that something he was prepared to do?
Have you mulled it over enough, or do you need more time? Anyway, that's the deal. So you've got 2 choices, 7 or 8. You can't choose 3. If you choose 3, you're gonna be leaving 3 people behind to die. So what are you gonna do? 7 or 8?
Junpei thought hard. Thinking over, his conclusion was... Okay, I don't want 3 people to die yet on this playthrough. Now, do I want to go with Lotus? I do want to go with Lotus, but I also feel like I don't want to just leave 7 just because I'm not as interested in him at the moment. But I do prefer... Oh, I'm going to go Lotus.
Okay. Alright. I choose door 8.
Okay, 8 it is.
Yeah.
Alright then. That means June's gotta go through 7.
Huh? Why?
June's face was blank and confused. Santa muttered to himself and turned to Junpei.
Junpei, you figured it out, right? Can you explain it to her?
Okay, so, June, if we want all 6 of us to go through a door...
Junpei chose his words carefully. When Junpei finally finished, June looked as though she was about to cry.
Oh no. You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Guys, it's going to be like an hour. Possibly 2 if you get stuck in a freezer again. Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, stilled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors. Remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 that interjected.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
We wasted another hour on June and Junpei. June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
She stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8. Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
All right, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Santa 7 and June walked toward door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Lotus laid her hand against her chest and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then shall we go?
It's open.
A narrow hallway stretched out before them.
Okay.
Hurry!
Lotus and Clover leapt through the door. The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his left, towards door 7. June stood there, a mirror... Guys, we don't have the time for this. A mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked towards him. Their eyes met.
June.
Jumpy.
They nodded. Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds.
What the hell are you doing?
Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He had, by the way, sorry, loud sound warning in the next 5 seconds. Okay, so he heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
81 seconds left. Hurry!
Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead. Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could.
It stopped.
With a shaking hand, she swiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead. Clover, however, was calm, aloof perhaps.
Pointless.
She muttered to herself without emotion and began to walk down the hallway, leaving a confused Junpei and Lotus. Lotus watched the girls receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity.
What an unpleasant girl.
Her brother is missing, guys!
I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
Her brother is missing! Her sarcasm seemed a little more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and started after the younger girl. Oh, that... Also, cheeky. And I see what you mean about Lotus. I'm really liking, like, she's seeming to get developed, and also Junpei is not noticing that she's developing.
Maybe pairing these two together was a mistake. Too late now. I better catch up to them.
After taking a moment to catch his breath, Junpei followed.
Oh, it's a dead end.
Does the clover look forward to being picked? Does it at you?
There's a door on the left, though.
For a few minutes, they stood in front of the door, examining it. Developing character. Her opinions are changing. For a few minutes, they stood in front of the door examining it. Above the door was a plate with the word laboratory engraved on it.
A laboratory? Huh.
Oh, that doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place.
Me either. But there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices.
Junpei,
Huh?
please, you first.
Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect.
Ugh, fine.
Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the iron door. His first steps inside were tentative and careful, but as he examined the room, it became clear that there was no imminent danger. Lotus followed him in, and Clover brought up the rear. The room they found themselves in was divided into two separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see into the other side of the division.
No, I think the window looks into another room.
Maybe it's for monitoring something.
Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say. In the center of a room shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table.
It looks so creepy.
Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to
It's
him.
kind of like that doll is waiting for...
This is a laboratory, right? I'd say it's more like it's waiting to be experimented on.
Ooh,
It's creepy either way. Don't think that thing's gonna suddenly sit up or something, do you?
well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands white.
Wait, where's Clover?
She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad.
What is she?
There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her and, as kindly as he could, spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about?
What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What? I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay?
Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Junpei, you just don't get it!
Her cry took Junpei by surprise, and he stumbled backwards a few steps, alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who just leave me behind. Something happened to him. Something bad.
Yeah.
Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned towards them.
What happened?
Clover's eyes slid to Lotus, then back to Junpei.
Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away.
Hey, wait, Clover! Hold on! That way is...
I told you to leave me alone.
He might as well have been talking to a wall for all the notice she took of his cry. Yeah, she thinks her brother is dead, or that he's going to die because you've all just given up on him. And she looks like she's like 14. She's handling this very well. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway.
Watch out above you.
And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a portcullis, sealing Clover in.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Clover grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could.
Hang on. I'll get it open.
Oh, for crying out. You'll never do it on your own.
Junpei grabbed the bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined him. Guys! The three of them pulled as hard as they could, but...
Damn it! It's not moving.
Wait! Are you gonna give up? Just like that?
No, I'm not giving up.
This has got to be another one of Zero's puzzles.
If it is, then there's gotta be a way to open it.
Junpei nodded.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there.
Oh, yes, I'm on it.
Time to seek a way out. Okay. What about the railings? Silver? Okay. Okay, the power's off. And there's a sink. Oops. Okay, papers. Yes, I know how you have to go over it again in permanent marker and then wipe it off. Okay. Okay. Okay, is there anything in there? No, okay. Oh, let's look over here. Power cable, cool. Okay, they're stuck. Oops. Okay. That is somewhat annoying. Okay, let's look at these boxes. Cardboard boxes. Okay, let's look at these. Oh, yeah, we can use that for the ink. Okay. It was worth a shot. Oh, use the paper. Yes, let's go. Okay. 4, 2, 3. Okay, hold on. Hmm. Nine. No, because then that's weird. That's interesting though. Okay. I'm thinking about the thing. Was there a place to put the password in somewhere? Oh! Perfect. Oh, god damn it. Perfect. Thank you, Clover. Positive reinforcement is a very useful. Okay, and then I just go back. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, it worked. Junpei pushed the button on the front of the monitor.
Oh, that worked.
The soft hum it turned on. Streams of letters that made no sense to Junpei began to scroll across the street screen.
What?
He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this.
Huh? It's running on its own?
It certainly looks like it.
Isn't that kinda weird?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor. The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it...
Maybe it's a wireless display.
Clearly, this was a reasonable explanation to Lotus.
A wireless display?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly. Hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
He most certainly had not.
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
Oh.
Lotus Law.
Oh, it stopped.
Pass with a colon.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Again? There must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it. What are you going to do?
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself down onto it in front of the keyboard. For a second, she stared at the screen. She kneaded her hands, knuckles popping, and twisted her back left, then right.
All right. Let's kick some ass.
Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. Then before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed, the click-clack of the keys running together like machine gun fire.
Wait, what?
Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course I didn't! You're typing so fast, I can't even see your fingers.
Lotus grinned, pleased with herself.
Well, at any rate, you're pretty amazing.
Did you fall for me again?
Whoa, 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 what do you mean, again? I'm not into you.
I know. Don't be so stubborn, shy boy.
I am not being stubborn, I am not shy, and I am not a boy.
Junpei transgender moments. Number 1.
I am a young, healthy, 21-year-old man. I'm not gonna fall for an old lady like you.
She's probably. She's probably like 28 or something.
Old lady. Did you just say old lady?
Oh crap, thought Junpei. I went too far. Oh well, it was a nice life while it lasted.
I've had enough of you. Go somewhere else. You're bothering.
What?
Go see if you can find a password hint or something. I'll try and open this from here. You're distracting me. Go. Now.
Lotus waved her hand in the universal gesture of dismissal. Junpei was clearly not wanted.
Fine. I guess I'll go.
Time to cut my losses, Junpei thought, and left as quietly and inoffensively as he could. Junpei wandered around the room for a while, looking for anything that might help find the password for the computer. Unfortunately,
Nothing. No clues whatsoever. Clover didn't find anything useful in the laboratory. Damn. Looks like we've hit a dead end this time.
but just as he was about to tell Lotus that his search had returned nothing,
All right. Bullseye. Junpei, I did it.
excited cheering erupted from near the monitor.
What?
He hurried back to find Lotus looking rather smug.
Let me see.
She gestured for him to look at the screen, and he did. The strange text from before was gone. In its place was something entirely different. 9 squares arranged in a 3x3
What is
square.
I don't have any idea. It just showed up after I cracked the password.
You think it's a puzzle?
Certainly looks like one.
As she spoke, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
No, I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, alright? I did my part.
He wasn't sure what to say to that. Junpei, she did do her part. Yeah. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to
I
himself.
guess you're right. Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. Make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzle shown on the screen. Okay, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I solved it. They opened. Awesome. It was just at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
Listen, I was determined to remember that night. He put the puzzle aside for the moment and looked over to Clover.
What's up?
Well, never mind.
Hey, hold on a minute. What does...
Sorry. Just forget about it. It's nothing.
Before he could say anything else, she spun around and ran back down the stairs.
What the hell was that?
After waiting a few minutes to see if she would return, Junpei sighed, shook his head, and went back to searching. Dude, she's gonna kill herself. The one with the key is this key. Okay. Those are still red. Oh, that's not good. Okay. The mannequin is going to sit up. Okay. Oh shit. She killed it. Oh, that might take the thing off the... Oh, no. How about over there? Oh, shit. Okay. Junpei, look at the light, yeah. It's great because the place is already like drowning, like submerged in water. Now they're just getting a fire to fight the water. Junpei, Clover, and Lotus slipped out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clear air, and with each one he could feel his body begin to calm down.
All right.
Okay.
They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked.
Damn, none of these open. They're all locked.
How about that one?
The final door sat in a corner of the hallway.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There's no doubt the voice belonged to...
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. There, at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running towards him. 3 of them.
June? Santa! 7!
They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Hey, on the wall.
A map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor then?
Door 7 and door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
They did. They did. They cried for so long, but it took like 5 minutes.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. And that's how the nonary game works.
Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again.
Wait a sec. This leads to...
As he looked more closely, to his surprise and excitement gave way to wariness.
Oh,
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen.
We may as well go.
yeah.
As one, they all moved back towards the door Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off of the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would
We're
be.
back. In the hospital room.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory, and then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
He looked like anyone might, after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough. Anyway, I said we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here.
7 tossed something small and metallic towards Junpei.
Whoa.
Nice catch.
Jeez.
He caught it and found that the object was a key.
I see. So this is Jupiter.
On it, someone had engraved a symbol very similar to a 4. He looked over at June, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright?
Yeah, on it.
Junpei tucked the new key into his pocket.
So how many unused keys do we have now?
There's the Earth key we found in the laboratory, the Saturn key card we found in the kitchen, and the Jupiter key you just gave me.
Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It just lead us back to the big hospital room.
Yeah, but there could be something good in there,
There's
dude.
no point to seeing what's on the other side of that
Dude,
door.
you found key card. You found keys in the other things, right? And then you found the keys in the other, and the keys could be useful. So go into the other door and find the key that is almost certainly in that one.
There is a point.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at 7 as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. 7 looked everywhere in the room except at Clover and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, Seven, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and Seven would discover what lay beyond Door 3.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the three of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Seven nodded as if this answer made more sense and pulled the lever on the red.
Okay, we're off.
The door opened and Ace, Clover, and Seven jumped through it. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
Alright, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather
Well, it would be a
confused.
waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
Alright, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every... I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
Huh?
This.
Junpei pulled 2 things out of his pockets.
The Saturn key and the Earth key? I'm lost.
Dude, you can use the keys to open doors, right? And the keys, when they open the doors, you can go inside the rooms that the doors open and perhaps find some more puzzles that will give you things that will help you leave.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left,
I've never seen it. I've never gone to a shoe store at night. Why, you know.
there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it. I think. So the 2 keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator
Dude, that
and the door
thing.
on A deck.
That bit where Kanye was like, and that has the Earth symbol on it. I think that was classic autistic woman behavior.
Yes, that's right.
June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into 2 teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you 2 can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be
We
brief.
have no idea what's on the other side of these. So don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Junpei and June headed for the elevators.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great! It looks like it's working now.
All right. Now, how do I call the elevator?
There is a single button to the right of the elevator door.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The door slid shut and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped towards the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of. They could only go down. She was afraid because the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realised he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase, all of which meant the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, take a look inside.
Junpei jerked his head towards the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right. They are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Embarrassed.
Test it.
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two, E and C. All right, I'll push E.
He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door stood shut and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down.
I think I can hear it opening on E deck.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
A few moments later, the elevator returned.
Yep, not a single drop of water to be seen. See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest, just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched a rough illustration.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it
So
back
I'm
into
gonna
his
go down and
pocket.
check it out. You stay here, all right?
But...
Come on, just do it.
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze and hopped onto the elevator. He pushed the E button and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth as if she was trying to make a decision when suddenly...
I'm coming with you!
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors.
Hey, wait!
Junpei jammed his finger against the open button. But it was too late.
Oh, crap, it closed.
The door had shut, he and June were in the elevator and it was headed down to E deck. He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck.
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
The elevator stopped and the door slid open. They tentatively stepped out and looked around.
It looks normal.
No fish going about their fishy business or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. Was, however, a bluefish, or at least something that looked very much like one. Hold on, guys.